we're going to make it happen big time in prime time. This beautiful Wednesday morning, the 10th day in the month of May, 2023. And so nice to have your company as per usual. Big ups to all the teachers out there. Make it a great day today, students. Show them some love. We appreciate the teachers. Of course, Mother's Day coming up. That will be another opportunity to do something really nice for our mothers. So we're looking forward to that. Right now, we have something to get through. We call it WTF. What the fact? And this morning, you're going to find this surprising, as I just did. A full NASA spacesuit costs $12 million. Yes, sir. 12 million. You have a lifetime to save towards it. Yeah, perhaps one of NASA's most iconic innovations is its spacesuit. Featured in countless images and videos over the past several decades, these suits are designed to protect astronauts from the perils of space, making it possible possible to conduct spacewalks outside of the International Space Station and more. As you may imagine, these suits are incredibly complex, and with that complexity comes an astronomical price tag. Best way to describe it. Yeah, so while the entire suit costs Jody, this script says a cool 12 million. Should I read it like that? Okay, I'm going to do just that. While the suit costs a cool 12 million, 70% of that cost is for the backpack and control module. However, the spacesuits that NASA uses were built in 1974. If these were priced by today's pricing, they would cost an estimated $150 million.
Listen, I tried to, a while ago, I tried to calculate it on my phone. And let me tell you, it couldn't hold. It can't hold.
Yeah, man, there's a whole per money that.
A good food.
Yeah, man. Trust me. $12 million, the average cost for these NASA space suits. We're looking at a couple of astronauts on the screen right now, thanks to Sean. And that's between them both there. You're looking at $24 million worth of suiting.
I wonder if
it's on our way when we say it like that. Jano.
I wonder if anybody wants to either donate both of them, Richie. Or we can, we can cut them in.
Maybe they would put them in a museum or something like that. I mean, if you just get maybe the from the knee down, maybe that in itself would be worth at least 1.5 mil.
Well, we'd take that.
I wonder how much one of the buttons would cost. All right, that's it for WTF. What the fact?
Yeah, get them all. Yeah.
Time now for update. And we've got a few stories to share with you. This one has to do with Kemar Haikon, a Jamaican DJ, Sing J, who now faces 5 years in prison overseas. Kemar Haikon is facing up to 5 years in prison if found guilty on charges of grand theft auto. The charge carries a hefty sentence in Florida and could result in a felony being on his record. The dancehall artist was arrested on May 5 in Broward County, Florida, after cops pulled him over on West Atlantic Boulevard. According to the police report obtained by media sources, Haikon, whose real name is Kemar Woodfine, was driving a 2014 two-door red BMW sports car and was the sole occupant of the vehicle. After running the plates, cops learned that the vehicle was reported stolen. The police report stated that the artist, who is also known as Sauce Boss, was arrested without any incident, and he has also waived his Miranda rights and agreed to talk to police officers. The police report did not state what the entertainer told cops at the time of his arrest. So that is, he's in a spot of bother, and we'll see how this one pans out for Kemar Haikon, who could face up to 5 years in prison for grand theft auto. Lady Saw, aka Marion Hall, Minister Marion Hall, is in the news as well, and she's pushing back at her critics who suggest that she showed covered up her body. The former queen of dancehall turned pastor and gospel singer has been butting heads with some fans and members of the church recently. Hall, formerly Lady Saw, appears to have backtracked on a recent announcement that she's quitting online preaching due to negative comments. It's no secret that social media can get quite troublesome if you don't have thick skin. Additionally, she's dealing with severe pushback from church leaders who are blocking her from performing at churches, something she likens to years ago when she was banned from performing in some parishes. During her live stream ceremony on Sunday, Minister Marion Hall addressed the whole matter of her body shamers, making sure to point out that her body is natural and God bless. That's interesting. She said, "You will not stop me from praising him. You will not stop me from dressing up, and these are mine." What are these? Let me read and see if I can find out. I fimi them. I fimi them. I fimi them. Yes, God give me them. Blessed body. So I cannot do anything about them. I cover them up. I do everything. I can't do anything to lighten or to tighten up myself. So me can't lift up my hand. I have to praise him. A blessed body, it's mine. So cuss me for it. I did not do any enhancement. I didn't enhance nothing. So if you have a problem, I care zero. I go and tell you about the blessed body that God has given me, and I have and if you have a problem with that, that's your problem. If you have a problem with my blessed body, talk to God about it. Whew. That is what so was she saying this in a sermon? It was in a sermon that she was
I watched Richie
preaching.
a part of it.
Yeah?
Sorry. And there were basically action. I mean, you're watching the video, she was like,
so what are these that she's talking about?
These.
Like her boobs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Yeah, man, that fit me. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's why she's talking about these are mine.
Yeah, man.
So as it is now, I actually saw a post that Queen Africa put out where she is basically bashing Lady Saw big time.
Really?
Yeah, Queen Africa, give it to some, not telling a lie. She basically says she needs to come out and just leave from over the side and come back over the side, meaning back into the secular world. And she feels that this particular post that we're referencing here is Marion Hall throwing shade at Spice. And she's basically saying that it's time for them to come together and take it to the, do the music and stop doing stuff like these, because this whole thing of body enhancement and so on, which it is believed Spice might have done, Lady Saw apparently is believed in that post to be throwing shade at Spice.
Really?
Yeah. So Queen Africa is really coming out at her. And in addition to that, Foota Hype has also come out, and he says he agrees with some of what Queen Africa said, apart from the point about trying to befriend or sort of making it up with Spice and so on. He feels that Marion Hall should just go at it, Lego from over the side, coming at the secular world according to him as well, and just take it to Spice. So he's really promoting serious rivalry between them.
A Lady Saw comeback.
Yeah. That kind of attitude, though, is not something that the traditional Christian community would be happy with.
No.
And I can see them having a serious problem with that. And if they're going to be blocking her from performing at those Christian type gospel events, then obviously she will just need to go out there and into the secular world and perform and earn.
Funny enough, Richie, you know what this reminds me of, Richie, Brother Desmond. As in, you remember that?
Yeah, man, the episode.
Yeah, that episode.
Yep.
Ninja.
Well, we continue to monitor this one. Marion Hall, she's definitely built for Reggae Sumfest. She's built for Grooving in the Park, and she has a few other big events, some jerk festivals and so on. So she's getting booked, not on gospel shows per se, but she's out there earning her money, and we say big ups for that. Right now it's 6:36 a.m., 24 before the hour of 7 o'clock, and that was Update. Right now, though, let's get to the proverb
of the day.
You shared man hand
but you not shake him out.
What?
Yeah, man.
You shake man hand, but you not shake him out.
I like that one. I feel like something we could have tell a girl if she had try, you know? Go around me, you know? You can't shake me out, but you not shake me out, you know? Alright, no, I like the proverb. I'm not gonna like the meaning.
Hear the meaning.
Yeah.
Alright, it is impossible to detect what a person has in his or her mind toward you through mere physical contact. So, but to extend it, do not therefore take people, their opinions, or their feelings for granted.
So I was right. I can use it in that context.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, one thing. Yeah, man, babes. You shake me out in the butt. You know, shake me out. Man.
It would be interesting to hear what she has to say to that. And the proverb, yeah, quote, Pop. All right, that's the proverb of the day. Right now, it's time for a pet peeve from one of the members of the Bridge Nation. It could be you if you had sent yours in. Remember, a pet peeve is something that somebody does that you find annoying, irritating, or upsetting. And we have a member of the Bridge Nation who's sharing a pet peeve with us this morning. Let's hear today's pet peeve.
Messy people were just nasty, we just make mess and not clean up back them mess. Yeah, and that's my pet peeve.
Easy.
Wow, people are just nasty. Messy people is what the member of the Bridge Nation said. Who create the dirt,
The mess.
the garbage, the mess, but don't want to clean it up.
Especially when they share the space with others. I think that's when the pet peeve really kick in. And you say, oh, Jano, you know, everybody share this space and then everybody try to clean up after themselves. But you just want somebody to do it for you. Yeah,
Not good. Not good.
People fight for less.
Yep. I wonder if that's more in a workplace scenario or in a home scenario. I think I know what scenario was being described. Yeah, well, the guilty, thereof no one own up. But if they're identified, then they should be told that this is unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, man.
If you're sharing space with other individuals and you're doing that, all right? Now, the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, LFJ, is proud to celebrate World Lupus Day today, May 10, 2023, under the theme Make Lupus Visible. The Lupus Foundation of Jamaica is a member-sponsored, volunteer-run organization that has been in operation since 1984 and is dedicated to improving the lives and outcomes of persons affected by lupus through information, education, advocacy, and, in fact, support. It is said that Jamaica has one of the highest rates of lupus worldwide, with thousands of Jamaicans affected by this serious and lifelong, and in some cases life-threatening autoimmune disease, typically without warning at the peak of their productive lives. Delayed diagnosis or inadequate treatment may lead to permanent disability or even death. So we're talking about some serious stuff here. We have with us this morning Dr. Desiree Tulloch Reid, who is the president of the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, to talk to us about the activities that are currently happening to create awareness about lupus. And so we say good morning and welcome, Doc.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
So nice to have you today, and especially on this World Lupus Day. Shall we start by asking you to give us a little bit more details as to what lupus really is?
Yes, I'll be glad to. This is the day for it. We're raising awareness. So lupus is, I like to sometimes start with what lupus is not. Lupus is not cancer, and lupus is not contagious. So you can't catch it from anyone or give it to anyone. Lupus is what's known as an autoimmune condition. And there are actually several of these what we call autoimmune conditions, which means that your body's immune system becomes dysfunctional, so that instead of carrying out its normal work, which is to protect us from infections and other things, the immune system instead turns against us and starts fighting against healthy tissues and cells. Mm-hmm. And this can cause inflammation, and the inflammation can lead to various symptoms, including damage to organs and tissues. So that's what an autoimmune condition does. But there are many different types of autoimmune conditions, and they can affect different parts of the body. But what makes lupus somewhat different is that with lupus, almost any organ or tissue can become involved. And so there can be serious consequences if you have severe forms of lupus. We also know that lupus, as you mentioned, unlike other chronic conditions, and chronic means that it's lifelong or you have to live with it because you don't have a cure for it. Unlike most chronic conditions, lupus is a disorder of the young. So persons are affected at a very young age. The average age is 22. So these are some of the things that make lupus a bit different. And so persons with lupus can sometimes be hard to diagnose because it can present with so many different symptoms or signs depending on which part of the body is being affected. For example, persons may experience, just unexplained fatigue, fevers, weight loss, so things that may not be very specific. On the other hand, there are sometimes skin involvement where you have rashes that may occur, and sometimes there's a characteristic rash on the face or a rash that gets worse when you're exposed to the sun. The hair may start falling out in patches or just generally. And so these are some of the things. Joint pain is a very common symptom of lupus. It's not peculiar to lupus, but because there are other forms of arthritis. But that can sometimes, pain in multiple joints can sometimes be a presenting complaint of lupus. And so the list goes on.
Yes.
If there are various organs involved, for instance, the kidney involvement may have no symptoms at all, or people may actually develop swelling, lots of water retention, unexplained water retention. So these can be some of the subtle or not so subtle symptoms of lupus.
Yes, and as we mentioned, Jamaica has one of the highest rates of lupus worldwide, so it is quite prevalent here. Are there any new treatments or advances in research that give hope to the lupus community, Doc?
Absolutely. Over the past few decades, and even during the time that I've been in this field, which is in the last 20 years, there have continued to be new developments for the treatment of lupus that are more and more effective and make it increasingly possible for persons to actually live healthy and productive lives. So the key is early diagnosis and also access to appropriate treatment, right? Timely and adequate treatment and close monitoring and support. So these are some of the things that we're drawing attention to this World Lupus Day. Our theme is Make Lupus Visible, because for many people suffer in silence. For many people there's a stigma because there's so much that is not understood by the persons around them. And so we want to shift that dynamic and remove it from the realm of the invisible and make lupus visible in the sense that make people more aware about lupus and what it is. But we also want to bring visibility to the persons affected and to their needs. And right across the world, as we recognize World Lupus Day, along with other lupus groups, we are actually emphasizing this year the matter of access to care. So access to care is one of the focal points of the conversations that we're having, as an advocacy body, with the public, with our practitioners, with policymakers, and we actually have quite we have a good record in the last few years of increasing the access that persons have to lupus care. So there's been a lot of progress. There's still a lot to be done, but we're celebrating what has been done so far and the successes, and we are pushing on to gain more.
I love that. Now, Doc, Speaking of what has been done so far, what are some of the services and resources that the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica provide for lupus patients and their families?
Well, actually, quite a range of things. One of the big sources, one of the big services we provide is actually information. So we do public awareness campaigns like this, and we interact with you, our media partners, and on our social media, and and through our Lupus Learning Center. So we make sure there's information that's accessible to the public. We take them out to clinics and health centers and so on. And this is how we actually make sure that persons are more aware of lupus, or persons who are living with lupus are empowered with information to be able to understand and manage their condition. So other services that so persons may just need to find a treatment center. So they can contact us. We can, find out where they are, and help them get on to appropriate care, whether it's public, private, or semi-private. And we provide support groups. So there are a couple of support groups formally operating and some informally operating. But we have support groups formally every month for those who can meet together, and also with Zoom access, so that those who are, across in different places can connect with us. And this is a very important space for patients. We provide free counseling, mental health counseling, and also practical counseling, because we have a number of social workers that volunteer with us. And this is a good way for us to help persons access resources. So that's not only what we absolutely provide directly, but we can actually connect people with the resources they need to get the care they need. So these are just some examples. Health professional education is one of the things we do as well.
I want to take time to really commend all of those volunteers who are involved. As we mentioned, it's a volunteer-run organization, the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica. And today being World Lupus Day, are there any special activities that you'd like to highlight, and maybe indicate how the public can get involved in some of these activities?
Yes, everybody listening can help us make lupus visible today, this World Lupus Day. In the first place, you can put on purple. Put on something purple today in solidarity with our lupus warriors, right? If you forgot whatever you had, maybe if you're in New Kingston area, you can meet us at Emancipation Park, and we can provide you with a shirt, or posters, or purple ribbon to wear. And so that's one simple way to show your support. Many people are creating World Lupus Day displays, and so we also have materials, posters, and so on that you can share in your space. But we are definitely inviting you to join us at Emancipation Park today for a free health fair, I should say, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have a special opening ceremony at 12 p.m. And you will be interacting with, we'll be getting free health checks courtesy of NHF, National Health Fund, and with support of Fosterage Group. And get your health checks. And you can also interact with quite a few health professionals, because we've actually invited a range of people from the different, as we celebrate the matter of access to care, or we emphasize that, we have a number of health professionals who are joining us, from the Physiotherapy Association, the consultant physicians, medical association, pharmacy, nutrition and dietetics. Many different associations will be exhibiting and giving talks. And so this is a great way to interact with us and with the lupus warriors who will be there visiting or volunteering on site. So we hope you'll join us. We're
11 o'clock today.
A Stride for Lupus walk at 10 a.m. From 7 Barbados Avenue.
All right. And then, of course, you head over to Emancipation Park from 11 o'clock, where that health fair will be taking place. If persons are out there wondering whether or not some signs or symptoms that they're experiencing could be lupus, I'm sure that they can get some help and some answers. So go on over and get this free support. Thank you, Doc. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I hope that all the activities planned will go well. And happy World Lupus Day once again.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your support.
All right, our pleasure. I don't think Howard Stern has a problem with this, King.
You can't do that. Mud.
Howard Stern has a problem with King Charles, but not King Roy.
You know, it's funny you said that because he did have a problem with me.
He did?
So let me give you the story.
I want to hear that story, Roy, honestly.
All right. So I was at Sirius Satellite Radio for a while. As a matter of fact, when it first started,
Yes.
I was one of the first radio personalities on it.
Okay.
And they hired Howard Stern to come to Sirius, and they gave him a floor to himself.
Wow.
Now, the floor that we're on has 54 studios.
Gosh.
That's the floor that we're on.
Yeah.
He has a floor
By
to
himself.
So I'm late. You know, just trying to find parking and everything. Late.
Yeah.
Show my ID because after 9/11 it was really hard to get into the building. They doubled the security in the building after 9/11.
Uh-huh.
So I'm late. Press the elevator. Howard Stern comes in, and he's waiting for more people to come in. And I'm like, I got to go. I know you're Howard Stern,
Yeah.
but my show starts in a minute.
Right. You might have a floor for yourself, but for God's sake, this is the elevator. We all belong here. So, what is his reaction?
Now, you know what it is, though? When you use your Jamaican accent in Manhattan,
Yeah.
people just pay attention. I don't know what it is.
Things get done.
Yeah, man.
Not only the accent, but there's a particular word. There's one particular one of those words.
Colorful one.
When they drop that in a bird.
Yeah, they know what time it is. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I tell you, I'm tempted to say your good friend Howard Stern didn't have one complimentary word for King Charles or Queen Camilla. And his comments have gone viral. He went as far as to describe King Charles using parts of one's anatomy. So it's not a good look. So he might come in for some backlash or some commendations, depending on which side of the fence people belong.
Exactly.
But you know, he's going to be Howard Stern any way you take it.
That's right.
Listen, he gets, I would say, as in we say in Jamaica, a crocus bag of hate mails every week. So it's not a big deal to him.
Yeah.
That's true.
He thrives on that.
Yeah, man, not a big thing like add more hate mail to the list.
Yeah, man. Highly controversial, but extremely successful.
Of course.
And big ups to him. You know what I mean? So how's everything going, King Roy? What's happening on your end?
Oh man, Trump.
He lost out the battle.
$5 million worth of it too.
Yeah.
It is scary because his fan base is rising up, and he's still the leading nominee for the Republican Party so far.
Yeah.
Will he be able to run? I'm not sure, because remember, he's got more cases coming his way. You know, whereas this one might not affect him. And you know he's going to appeal. She probably won't see that money until I'm old and gray, and I'm almost gray.
Yeah.
So
you don't think it might negatively impact his re-election campaign?
No.
Oh.
I don't. I'm more worried about the one in Atlanta. I think if he's found guilty there, then the Republican Party is going to have to really part ways with him. Yeah.
Well, Jean Carroll might have had one victory, but it will take a lot of time before she collects.
Yeah. It's a long time before
That's a
she
fact.
collects.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He's going to be appealing the appeal of the appeal, that appeal, and that appeal, and the appeal before that. This is going to go on for years. But she did say she didn't want any money.
Oh,
this
really?
This wasn't about money for her. It wasn't like she asked for 100,000 or 1 million. She didn't ask for anything. She just wanted to clear her name. And I think that's why the jurors just say, you know what? Let's give it to him, man. Let's give it to him.
Well, I tell you, I don't know, but these I mean, the more you hear of these leaders having these legal battles, is the more you kind of say to yourself, I mean, how can people just feel comfortable continuing to support? It's like, say, a minister of religion who's on a let's say a rape charge or something like that.
How people continue to...
Yeah, people just go back to church like nothing happened. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar kind of thing, you know what I mean?
It is. You're absolutely right.
It's true. It's like with me and the teacher. You know, you go. We all know what it is, but play a teacher tune right now. You know the thing, go.
Yeah.
Lone blank. That's where you go. Call it what it is.
Yeah. Trust me. Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we thank you, Shelz, thank you, DJ Audley, thank you, Jody, and Sean, who worked all morning long. You going home now, Sean, or are you going to be here for a while yet? Okay, he's going to be here for a while. Jeff Brown passed through, just saw Jerusalem as well, and all the other members of our team, thank you very much. But most of all, we thank the Bridge Nation for tuning in and keeping our company all morning long. Big ups once again to the teachers out there.
Yes.
And one teacher messaged us and said they really rolled out the red carpet for us at school today.
Deserved.
So that's a good look. And I actually said that, well deserved, in my response. So have a great day, everybody. And God willing, we'll catch up with you again tomorrow morning. 6 in the eye, we'll do it all over again. And remember today, take these words with you. Kindness is one thing you can't give away. It always comes back. George Skolsky made that comment years ago. Check it out right now. Our final song.